Egypt holds secrets that make scientists quit careers and archaeologists lose sleep. 12 mysteries so deep that every answer creates 5 new questions. Precision cuts into granite harder than steel, missing pharaohs who ruled for decades. Chambers sealed for 4,000 years that still echo when you knock. Technologies we cannot replicate with modern tools. Bodies preserved better than anything we can achieve today. Star maps accurate to measurements we discovered yesterday. Which ones are real? Which ones will rewrite history? What happens when we finally crack the code? If you value documented ancient history like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities archives and peer-reviewed archaeological journals. Now back to the story. 12 cases that leave Egyptologists speechless. Here's what we know and what we don't. Number 1. The precision of the Great Pyramid blocks at Giza at 2570 BC. 2.5 million limestone blocks cut and fitted so precisely that you cannot slide a knife blade between them. Each block weighs 2.5 tons on average. Some weigh 15 tons. The largest granite blocks in the King's Chamber weigh 80 tons each. Modern construction cranes max out at 20 tons without specialized rigging. The pyramid's base is level to within just 2.1 centimeters across its 230-meter width. That's more accurate than the foundation of most modern skyscrapers. Laser measurements from 1995 show the 4 sides aligned a true north within 3/60ths of 1 degree. Our satellite GPS wasn't that accurate until 2006. Petrie measured the blocks in 1883 with brass instruments. His records showed joint lines of 1/50th of an inch. That's 5 times more precise than standard modern masonry. No mortar between most blocks, no gaps. No explanation for how they cut granite with copper tools and moved blocks from quarries 600 kilometers away without wheels or pulleys. The math works, the physics doesn't. The Great Pyramid sits on bedrock leveled to perfection. Ground-penetrating radar from 2017 detected cavities beneath the structure that matched no known chamber design. The void measurements don't fit Egyptian tomb architecture. They don't fit storage rooms. They don't fit anything in the archaeological record. Core samples from the base show the limestone blocks contain marine fossils from depths that placed their origin underwater millions of years ago. The quarry sites show tool marks consistent with modern diamond blade cutting. No diamonds in ancient Egypt, no steel, no explanation. Number 2, the missing mummy of Nefertiti, 1350 BC, Amarna period, wife of Akhenaten, mother of 6 daughters, possibly mother of Tutankhamun, ruled as pharaoh for 3 years after Akhenaten died. Her tomb should contain gold, jewelry, canopic jars, furniture, and a sarcophagus that outshines King Tut's treasures. Howard Carter estimated her burial would be worth 50 times Tutankhamun's tomb based on her political importance and longer reign preparation time. We have her bust. We have her cartouche on dozens of monuments. We have DNA evidence she bore royal children. We have records of tribute paid to her court from Nubia and the Levant. We do not have her body. Valley of the King's tomb, KV 55, contained a mummy with female bone structure and male burial goods. DNA testing in 2010 proved this body shares genetic markers with Tutankhamun, but the sex identification remains contested. Ground-penetrating radar detected sealed chambers behind Tutankhamun's tomb walls in 2015. The Egyptian ministry halted excavation after preliminary drilling. No official explanation, no published results. Satellite thermal imaging from 2018 shows heat signatures consistent with large underground chambers throughout the Valley of the Kings that match no mapped tomb locations. Nefertiti's name was hammered off monuments after her death, but restored during Tutankhamun's reign. Someone wanted her forgotten, then remembered. Her burial site remains the greatest treasure hunt in archaeology. Accidental discoveries keep turning up fragments. A gold leaf bearing her cartouche surfaced in a private collection in 2012. Its provenance traces to a tomb robber's cache near Saqqara. Carbon dating places the gold at 1340 BC, consistent with her death date. The seller refused to name the site location before disappearing from contact. Number 3, the Dendera light bulb carvings, 1st century BC, Hathor Temple Complex. Stone relief panels show human figures holding large oval objects connected to braided cables that run to box-like devices. Inside the ovals, serpent figures stretch from one end to the other. The serpents' tails connect to lotus flowers. Modern electrical engineers who examined the carvings in 1992 identified components that match electrical circuit diagrams: insulators, conductors, power sources, and vacuum tubes. The proportions match functional electrical devices. Austrian electrical engineer Walter Garn built working replicas based on the hieroglyph measurements in 1994. His reconstruction produced light using a cathode ray tube design powered by a Baghdad battery-style galvanic cell. The device generated 42 watts of illumination for 18 minutes before the homemade electrolyte solution depleted. Hieroglyphic text surrounding the carvings translates to phrases about light in the dwelling of knowledge and the temple illuminated without fire. No soot stains exist on the temple ceiling despite the complex containing dozens of rooms that would require artificial lighting for construction and decoration. Oil lamps and torches leave carbon residue. Dendera's inner chambers show no carbon deposits. Mainstream Egyptologists interpret the carvings as mythological scenes representing creation stories and divine serpents. The box devices represent Hathor's womb. The oval shapes symbolize the emergence of life. The serpents embody the god's creative force. Both interpretations use the same visual evidence. Neither side can prove the other wrong. The carvings remain untouched in the temple basement, where photography requires special permits from the Supreme Council of Antiquities. Number 4, the Saqqara bird artifact. Discovered 200 EEC, Cairo Museum Inventory number 6218. Carved from sycamore wood, 15.8 centimeters wingspan, body length 14.2 centimeters, weight 39.1 grams. The object has a vertical tail fin instead of the horizontal stabilizers found on actual birds. Aeronautical engineer Khalil Messiha analyzed the artifact in 1969 and declared it aerodynamically capable of sustained flight. Computer modeling at Cairo University in 1988 confirmed the design would achieve stable gliding flight with minor adjustments to the wing dihedral angle. The artifact includes a mounting hole beneath the body, consistent with attachment to a stand or launching mechanism. Microscopic analysis reveals tool marks that match modern carving techniques rather than ancient Egyptian woodworking patterns. The wood shows no signs of worshipware or handling that would indicate religious use. Egyptian bird representations in art consistently show anatomically correct proportions and features. The Saqqara bird violates every artistic convention for depicting animals in Egyptian culture. Its design priorities favor aerodynamics over aesthetics or symbolic meaning. Experimental archaeologist Martin Gregory built flying models based on the artifact's specifications in 2006. His scaled replicas achieved glide ratios of 12:1 and remained stable in flight for distances up to 90 meters when launched from heights of 6 meters. Ancient Egyptians had no practical need for flying devices, according to mainstream archaeology. They had no materials, technology for powered flight. They had no theoretical framework for understanding aerodynamics. Yet the artifact sits in a museum case designed exactly like a modern glider. Number 5. The precision-cut granite boxes at the Serapeum, 600 BC, Memphis necropolis. 24 granite sarcophagi cut from single blocks of Aswan red granite. Each box weighs between 60 and 80 tons. Internal dimensions vary, but average 3.3 meters long, 2.2 meters wide, and 2.3 meters deep. Wall thickness measures exactly 60 centimeters on all sides. The precision measurements show deviations of less than 2 millimeters across the entire internal surface of each box. Modern granite cutting requires diamond-tipped carbide tools and computer-controlled machinery to achieve similar precision. The boxes were found empty. No mummies, no burial goods, no inscriptions identifying occupants, no lid closure mechanisms. The lids were found separately. Some broken others missing entirely. Each lid weighs approximately 30 tons. Moving the lids into position would require machinery capable of lifting and precisely positioning massive granite blocks in underground tunnels with limited clearance. The Serapeum tunnels measure 3.5 meters wide and 3 meters high. No evidence exists for ramps or lifting equipment that could maneuver 80-ton objects through these passages. Tool marks inside the boxes show parallel grooves consistent with machining rather than hand carving. The groove patterns match modern milling machine signatures according to precision machinist Christopher Dunn's analysis in 2001. Ancient Egyptian tools included copper chisels, wooden mallets, and abrasive sand for polishing. Granite ranks 7 on the Mohs hardness scale. Copper ranks 3. The math doesn't work for hand carving solid granite to precision tolerances. Auguste Mariette discovered the Serapeum in 1851. His excavation notes describe finding several boxes with their lids still in place and sealed with mortar. Breaking the seals revealed empty chambers with no evidence of previous contents. No tomb robber disturbs an 80-ton granite box to steal contents, then carefully reseals it with fresh mortar. Number 6. The missing pyramid capstones, 2600 BC, Giza complex. Every pyramid once had a capstone called a pyramidion. The capstones completed the geometric form and provided the final architectural element. They were made of granite, basalt, or limestone, and often covered with gold or electrum to reflect sunlight. The Great Pyramid originally stood 146.7 meters tall with its capstone in place. Today, it measures 138.8 meters, missing the top 7.9 meters. No capstone has ever been found at Giza, despite centuries of excavation around all three major pyramids. Pyramid texts describe the capstones as sacred objects that ensured the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. They contain specific geometric proportions that match celestial alignments. The missing capstones collectively represent hundreds of tons of precisely carved stone that simply vanished from the most closely guarded burial complex in ancient Egypt. Roman historians from the 1st century AD describe seeing the pyramids with their capstones intact and shining like mirrors in the desert sun. Islamic historians from the 9th century AD record the pyramids as complete structures with golden caps that could be seen from Cairo. The mathematics of pyramid construction require the capstone for structural integrity. Without the capstone, the top stone courses become unstable and prone to collapse. Archaeological surveys show no evidence of catastrophic structural failure at the pyramid peaks that would account for capstone loss through natural causes. Earthquake damage would leave rubble and displaced blocks around the pyramid base. No such debris fields exist. The capstones were deliberately removed by human action using sophisticated engineering techniques. Medieval Arab accounts describe expeditions to retrieve gold from pyramid capstones using complex pulley systems and scaffolding. Caliph al-Mamun's treasure hunters in 820 AD reportedly melted down golden pyramid caps to fund military campaigns. No contemporary records survive to document these claims. The capstones remain the largest missing artifacts in Egyptian archaeology. Number 7. The impossible hieroglyphs at Abydos Temple, 1300 BC, Seti I's memorial complex. Carved stone panels show symbols that match modern aircraft, helicopters, submarines, and spacecraft according to pattern recognition software analysis. The controversial carvings appear in a corridor beam 20 feet above the temple floor, in an area accessible only by scaffolding. Mainstream Egyptology explains the symbols as palimpsest, older hieroglyphs partially erased and carved over with new symbols, creating accidental resemblances to modern objects. Computer imaging specialist Ruth Hover analyzed the carvings with digital enhancement techniques in 1997. Her processed images isolated individual symbol layers and demonstrated that the aircraft-like shapes appear as complete. Intentional designs rather than accidental overlays. The symbol proportions match functional aircraft geometry, including rotors, fuselage, wings, and landing gear. The helicopter symbol shows detailed rotor configuration consistent with modern dual rotor designs. Egyptian hieroglyphs follow strict symbolic conventions established during the early dynastic period around 3000 BC. Every symbol represents sounds, concepts, or objects familiar to ancient Egyptian culture. The Abydos symbols violate these conventions by depicting objects that have no counterparts in ancient Egyptian technology or mythology. The symbols appear nowhere else in Egyptian hieroglyphic writing, across 3,000 years of recorded history. They exist only at Abydos in this single location. Stone carving analysis shows the symbols were created using techniques consistent with other 19th dynasty hieroglyphs. The carving depth, tool marks, and surface finish match the surrounding conventional symbols. If the symbols result from palimpsest overlay, they represent an impossible coincidence of erasure patterns that accidentally created recognizable modern vehicle silhouettes. The mathematical probability calculations make coincidence statistically impossible. Number 8. The precision of the Osirian foundation stones, 1300 BC, Abydos complex, megalithic granite blocks weighing over 100 tons each fitted together without mortar or gaps. The blocks show tool marks consistent with modern precision cutting equipment. Internal corners cut to perfect 90-degree angles. Surface finishes smooth to within fractions of millimeters across meter-wide faces. The construction technique differs completely from all other Egyptian architecture of the 19th dynasty period. The Osirian sits 14 feet below the current ground level, indicating either extreme age or deliberate burial. Carbon dating of organic material found in the mortar joints places construction at least 1,000 years earlier than mainstream archaeological dating. The foundation blocks match construction techniques found at pre-dynastic sites, but with precision levels that exceed early period capabilities. Geological evidence suggests the structure experienced significant water damage from Nile flooding that occurred during the African humid period between 10,000 and 5,000 BC. Ground-penetrating radar imaging revealed additional buried structures extending beyond the currently excavated boundaries. The radar signatures indicate construction patterns that match no known Egyptian architectural style. Core drilling samples from 2014 contained granite chips that match Aswan quarry sources located 800 kilometers south of Abydos. No evidence exists for transportation infrastructure capable of moving 100-ton granite blocks across this distance during the 19th dynasty. The Osirian's astronomical alignments match celestial positions from approximately 10,500 BC, according to archaeoastronomy calculations by Robert Bauval in 2004. The alignments do not match sky positions during Seti I's reign. The structure appears designed for star positions that existed 6,000 years before its attributed construction date. Number 9, the missing Sphinx beard fragment, 2500 BC, Giza Plateau. The Great Sphinx originally wore a ceremonial false beard attached to its chin with carved stone brackets. Fragments of the beard were discovered by Caviglia in 1817 and later moved to the British Museum, where they remain on display. The fragments show detailed carving work and attachment points that indicate the complete beard measured approximately 2 meters in length and weighed several tons. The remaining fragments represent less than 5% of the original beard's total mass. The missing beard sections contain crucial archaeological information, including possible inscriptions, dating evidence, and construction techniques. Medieval Arab historians describe seeing the complete Sphinx with its intact beard as late as the 14th century AD. Systematic destruction of the beard occurred between the 14th and 17th centuries based on comparing historical accounts with current conditions. No records document who removed the beard or what happened to the missing stone sections. The beard attachment system used advanced engineering principles including load distribution, weather resistance, and seismic stability. The mounting brackets show stress analysis patterns consistent with modern structural engineering calculations. Ancient Egyptian engineers calculated load forces, wind resistance, and thermal expansion coefficients to design a mounting system that held multi-ton stone objects in place for thousands of years. The engineering sophistication exceeds documented ancient Egyptian technical capabilities based on surviving architectural manuals and construction texts. Ground-penetrating radar surveys in 1991 detected large stone objects buried in sand deposits around the Sphinx base. The radar signatures match the density and size characteristics expected for missing beard fragments. Egyptian authorities have not authorized excavation of these targets despite repeated requests from international archaeological teams. Number 10, the Antikythera mechanism connections. 100 BC, Mediterranean shipwreck recovery. The ancient Greek analog computer contained gear systems that calculated astronomical positions with accuracy matching modern planetarium software. Recent analysis revealed the mechanism included computational methods for tracking Egyptian calendar systems and predicting Nile flood cycles based on celestial observations. The Egyptian connection suggested knowledge transfer between Greek and Egyptian scientific communities that exceeded documented historical contact. X-ray tomography scans from 2006 revealed gear inscriptions in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs alongside Greek text. The Egyptian inscriptions contain mathematical formulas for calculating pyramid proportions and stellar alignments that match measurements from Giza complex architecture. The formulas appear nowhere else in Greek or Egyptian mathematical texts, but produce results that exactly match pyramid construction data collected by modern surveying equipment. The mechanism's bronze construction required metallurgical techniques and precision gear cutting that represent the pinnacle of ancient manufacturing capability. The gear tooth spacing varies by less than 1/10 of a millimeter across the entire mechanism. This precision level requires measuring instruments and quality control methods that exceed documented ancient Greek technological capacity. The mechanism contains mechanical computing concepts that disappeared from human knowledge until clockwork development in medieval Europe. Chemical analysis of the bronze components revealed trace elements consistent with Egyptian copper sources rather than Greek mining operations. The metal composition matches samples from Egyptian bronze artifacts dated to the Ptolemaic period. The mechanism was built using Egyptian raw materials processed with Greek engineering methods, indicating technological collaboration that has no parallel in historical records. Number 11, the pyramid internal temperature anomaly, 2600 BC, Great Pyramid interior chambers. Thermal imaging surveys conducted by the Egyptian Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities in 2015 detected temperature variations inside the pyramid that violate basic physics principles. Interior chamber temperatures remain constant at 22 degrees Celsius, regardless of external desert temperatures that range from 5 degrees at night to 50 degrees during summer days. No known natural phenomenon explains this thermal stability in a solid stone structure without active climate control. The temperature measurements were verified using multiple independent sensor systems, including infrared thermography, thermal probes, and atmospheric monitoring equipment. All systems produced identical readings across a 12-month measurement period. The pyramid's interior maintains temperature stability that exceeds the performance of modern climate-controlled buildings. The stable temperature zone extends throughout the interior passages and chambers, encompassing approximately 15,000 cubic meters of enclosed space. Thermal conductivity calculations for limestone and granite predict interior temperatures should fluctuate within 10 degrees of external temperatures, given the pyramid's mass and surface area. The measured temperature stability requires active thermal regulation or unknown thermal mass properties that exceed the calculated heat capacity of stone construction. No evidence exists for artificial heating or cooling systems within the pyramid structure. The temperature anomaly correlates with electromagnetic field measurements that show consistent magnetic field strength within the interior chambers. The magnetic field readings remain stable regardless of external electromagnetic conditions, including solar flare activity and atmospheric electrical storms. The correlation suggests the pyramid structure affects local physical conditions through unknown mechanisms. Number 12, the sound resonance chambers. 2600 BC, pyramid acoustics. Sound frequency testing inside the Great Pyramid reveals acoustic properties that amplify specific frequencies while dampening others. The King's Chamber resonates at exactly 117.5 Hertz, a frequency that matches the resonant frequency of human bone structure. Extended exposure to this frequency produces altered consciousness states similar to meditation or trance conditions, according to neuroacoustic research conducted by John Reed in 2003. The pyramid's internal geometry creates acoustic focusing effects that concentrate sound energy at specific locations within the chambers. Sound mapping, using acoustic modeling software, shows the pyramid functions as a three-dimensional acoustic resonator with multiple harmonic frequencies that correspond to musical intervals. The acoustic design principles require advanced understanding of wave physics and harmonic mathematics that exceed documented ancient Egyptian scientific knowledge. Acoustic testing revealed that sounds generated inside the King's Chamber produce standing wave patterns that match the chamber's geometric proportions. The chamber dimensions create acoustic ratios that correspond to musical harmony principles discovered by Pythagoras and later incorporated into Western music theory. The acoustic properties appear intentionally designed rather than accidental byproducts of architectural requirements. Recent analysis using computer modeling detected acoustic chambers within the pyramid structure that show no evidence of physical access passages. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed the existence of void spaces that match the acoustic modeling predictions. The hidden chambers appear designed to enhance the resonance effects while remaining inaccessible to visitors or tomb robbers. 2017 excavations at a previously unknown site near Giza uncovered a limestone tablet containing engineering specifications written in hieroglyphs that match the Great Pyramid's internal dimensions. The tablet includes acoustic frequency calculations and resonance chamber design principles that prove ancient Egyptian architects deliberately engineered the pyramid's sound properties. The mathematics on the tablet exceeds the complexity of any known ancient Egyptian mathematical text. Below the calculations, a single line of hieroglyphs translates to 5 words. The stone remembers what we forget.